I'm not gonna go through this again. Relax. We're about to get through this. I'm gonna clear everything up in a second. But I do need you to calm down. Relax yourselves. This show is about to start. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta put some lighting on. Alright. I still want more lighting, so let me go to this break real quick. I forgot to put that light on over there. I'm about to put this light on, take this quick break. Alright. Hold on, let me make sure I put the right thing. I haven't used this in a
So, okay, we back at it. We are back at it. Okay. So, like I said, I just like my lighting, to be a certain way, Just how it is, me. I like it to have a nice, clean look. All right? That was the main reason why I bought this camera. Oh, if you interested in a great streaming camera, I'm a do a review of this camera and other products that I actually deal with and buy them. So I'm not gonna say nothing now. If you see me being elusive, it's you know what I mean. I'm gonna just lay it down. I'm gonna do a review of it, and I can't front. I'm pleased. I'm actually gonna do a review of the streaming program that I use as well, because for me it like goes hand in hand, and they both A1. That's what I'm gonna say for right now. All right. So let's get into this, right? As you can see down the bottom, got the little ticker. So let's go see what we are talking about here. Right? Saudi Arabia puts 81 to death in largest mass execution. All right? So let's bring this up. All right? Take me away for a quick second. As you can see, all right? So it goes, Saudi Arabia executed 81 people Saturday convicted of crimes ranging from killings to belonging to military groups, the largest known mass execution carried out in the kingdom in its modern history. The execution carried out surpassed even the toll of a January 1980 mass execution for 31 militants convicted of seizing the Grand Mosque in Mecca in 1979. The worst ever militant attack to the target of the kingdom in Islam holiest site. I would, I guess now, but didn't, the Black Stone already, it had got confiscated and all of that. So I would thought that was, but then I guess they talking in modern history, right? It wasn't clear why the kingdom chose Saturday for the execution, though they came as much of the world's attention remained focused on Russia's war on Ukraine. The number of death penalty cases being carried out in Saudi Arabia had dropped during the coronavirus pandemic. Though the kingdom continues to behead convicts under King Salman and his assertive son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So, Saturday, the execution saying that it convicted of various criminals, including murderers of innocent men, women, and children. See, over there, they don't play that. One thing I can respect about over there, they'll treat you differently for going after the person that you are after versus innocent people. They don't make that excuse, as in what you did. That's an innocent person, a life for a life. That's how this is going down. You know what I mean? And they'll see things differently to those who are deemed to had done wrong, to the state itself, to the state of, Islam, should we say, right? So, pardon me, as I'm preparing my trees. So, dang, you can't even see me. Hold on, let me bring myself back up. All right, so with that being said, right, me personally, I'm seeing this whole thing playing out, globally. We have different laws for different people, but as I watch the things unfold, I hear it's still, basically a religious war. Now it's going under tech and, I'm talking about the Ukrainians for a minute because we're actually about to go over there. So let me put this up. All right. So, I wasn't just, just going off. Right. So, the war with Ukraine, the undertone is very religious. I read to you articles about their, I don't call them pastors, but clergymen and, them explaining the wrongs of Ukraine in the sense of, bringing in a lot of, modern, I'm going to say modern thinking. I'm not going to call it progressive. But I am going to say, this modern influence of, gay and all of that stuff, And so you got to question, is this, all, basically, is it all connected? Is it really a religious war where we got two sides? One side that clearly has no belief in God, not the God that's promoted, due to the fact the God that's promoted, it doesn't promote them. So, they don't believe in that God. They believe that they are God. I'm talking about the gay community. So they needed to recruit, more quote unquote progressive thinkers and remove, any old thinkers. Man is God. Now we got women is God, and those type of things. So, and this is what I tell the woke community about that. Okay, you're saying women is God, and that sounds like penis envy due to the fact that there's a title of goddess. Now, whether in the past that title has been removed or not is not the issue. It's penis envy, clearly, because you already have a title. So, with that being said, let's move on to the Putin, right, situation we got here. So, right, Putin pre-war move against U.S. tech giants laid groundwork for crackdown on free expression, right? So, let's go into here. Russia agents came to the home of Google top executive in Moscow to deliver a frightening ultimatum last September. Take down an app that had drawn the ire of Russian President Vladimir Putin within 24 hours or to be taken to prison. They run it down on dudes. So you work for Google, this is your option. You take that shit down in 24 hours and you go to jail. Google quickly moved the woman to a hotel where she checked in under an assumed name and might be protected by the presence of other guests in hotel security, according to people with knowledge of the matter. The same agent, believed by company officials to be from Russia's FSB, a successor of the KGB intelligence service, then showed up at her room to tell her the clock was still ticking. They don't play. Within hours, an app designed to help Russian registrate protest voters against Putin could no longer be downloaded from Google or Apple, whose main representative in Moscow faced a similarly harrowing sequence. Titans of America's technology had been brought to their knees by some of the most primitive intimidation tactics in the Kremlin playbook. The unraveling encounters, which have not previously been disclosed, were part of a broader campaign that Putin intensified last year to erode sources of internal operations. Move now, helping him maintain his hold on power amid a global backlash over the invasion of Ukraine. Now, you see, I haven't smoked no weed, so, you know, my flowing and all of that is different. So, it's to show you, it's always been the greenery. I'm sorry, you know, that the greenery makes my delivery so horrible. Okay. Amid this internal offense, Putin also moved to bring foreign technology companies to heel. Moscow deployed new devices that let it degrade or even block Russian access to Facebook and Twitter, imposed fines totaling 120 million on firms accused of defying Kremlin censors, and ordered 13 of the world's largest technology companies to keep employees in Russia and thus exposed to potential arrest and other punishments for their employees' actions, a measure the U.S. executives refer to as hostage law. Right? So, let's get it twisted. Whether from the outside or in, right? Whether it be from Putin or the U.S., government and media outlets, because they all one to me. For me, you have the religious aspect, their government. They pay their tithes to operate 10%, right? And in that 10%, it's a promotion, right? Just like you got the NBA. I mean, not the NBA. NBA, NFL, whatever the case may be. The national anthem, government again. So you see a government hand in it. When we look at that, we have to understand that the government, it's like the mafia, right? The mafia was operating, sure. And the government can act like it had a problem once it was time to take them out. But in reality, they were paying kickbacks to the government too. Behind the scenes, this was the operation. So a lot of, the good and the bad in our society are both controlled by the same element. So when you see in the shift in society, understand that there's a government element behind it. That's why you see the politicians arguing leftists and right, because it's still politics due to the fact that the government must still operate. The nation must still operate. So even in the criminal element, they have to control it. Because the criminals are the ones who's most likely to do any type of uprising because they already, quote unquote, decided to push back against the system. So the system sets up a system to even control that system to great value. To great extent, should I say, right? Because at the end of the day, even the government is going to come in to those mafia-owned things and swallow it up. And if they go corporate America swallows it up, and then it's going back into that same system. So you're all working for a system, whether the good side or the bad side, to build that system up. So with that, what I'm saying is, pardon me, got to get my Bluntville's. All right, show you the Bluntville's. Got to show you the Bluntville's. All right, but I don't do Dutches. I don't do Dutches. I'm not calling no Dutch my master. The three largest importers of slaves were the Spaniards, the Dutch, and the Portuguese, or whatever the hell. Right? Don't matter to me. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me go back here. I think I went out. All right. Okay. So with that, I can't do Dutches. I can't do it. Even when I was around people who always was trying to explain it. Nobody gives a fuck though. When they get older, they'll act like they care, but at that time, nobody gave a fuck. You know what I mean? So I was always the weird dude who, in the streets, but always, kicking this knowledge, like Malik and Minister Society, without being a Muslim and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like Kufis and all of that stuff. All right. So, like the point that I was making is don't be fooled by the pressure that Russia might be putting on the people to stifle, free expression. Because in America, they have always been doing that. When we talk about the black, plight, you ain't allowed to have expression. You are not allowed to do any of those things. But yet and still, when they have a gripe, it's allowed. It's the same system, the same media that they acting like is being controlled. Right here in America, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Don't think that, it's like some different system. You're working for, like, let's say, mad scientists. Let's say it like that. You're working for mad scientists, and so you just, expendable, especially if you're not smart enough to understand, you know? And if you are smart enough, then, what's the value when the whole world around you is not smart enough? So for us, who run around and feel we have a certain information and knowledge of, what is our value if the world around you is believing the liar, right? Because the lie is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be so attracted to it. If the lie wasn't so beautiful, you wouldn't be attracted to it. You know, a lie is like a stripper, all fake, plastic. Not all strippers, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, giving the example of, this world where fake things are real. You're attracted to it because it's designed to be attractive. That's when you look at a person, with the Botox, the butt plants, the hip plant, all of that, you know, what is the purpose of doing that? Right? And then you go, are they being real to them? Are they being real to you? Because they're presenting something to you, right? That sure, it makes them feel good. But are they being honest with you because they feel good that they look a certain way that's going to attract a certain type of person? But so that meant that they're lying. You are trying to convince somebody that you are what they want, but you are not because you had to design yourself for that. I'm saying that because I was on Facebook. Actually, I'm gonna bring the video up. I was on Facebook, and this lady, man, like, I guess like the breast implant and had exploded. So you see one breast, and then you see the other breast flat. But I'm gonna get into that um later, and I'm not gonna show that because I got more news. Not that I don't want to show it. It's just that it's more news. That's personal ignorance. You know what I mean? That's your own personal ignorance. You wanted to impress a certain type of person, acted high sedity standards, right? And people who didn't want that, you look down on them, right? Now you have to suffer with that. So people like me don't feel nothing because you would look at me, you just mad and you broke, you just don't want to, right? Yeah, I don't want to pay for that. You damn right. I'll be broke as a motherfucker if it means that I gotta keep this type of upkeep up of the person that I'm around. I don't even know them. You know, I don't know them. I know what they want. I know their desires, but I don't know them. Because all I know is them trying to push you for them to get more of that. You know, so for me, you can't really tell nobody nothing, but you know what it is. You know, don't let these people control media, your voice, your mindset. We have to go to a time of darkness. I mean, like, I guess the Great Reset would only make sense at this point in time. You know what I mean? Like, due to the fact that you can't free a people who's already geared to chase their destruction. You know, so America is going to fall because they used it up, they dried it up. Now it has no value, right? America has no value, meaning that the world that you see it is controlled by different things, right? Technology and those type of things. So when America was still thriving, it was thriving off of giving the power to up and coming nations. Yeah. It was giving them the power due to the fact that they were willing to work for labor while the people over here was sitting high on the hog, you know, bragging about, you know, stuff that they couldn't even afford. You know? So you can't know, like, if everybody is outsourcing in America, how are the people in America going to survive? Where are they getting their money from? Because all of the majors are outsourcing. All you getting paid to do is deliver and stuff like that. Eventually, there's going to be a dry up. And so the middleman, a lot of times, is supposed to see it, but then it's seeming like they don't see it. The middlemans in America are not seeing this decline because everybody is taught worry about you. And if we keep you so distracted, you won't see the decline. And so as the decline picks up, they had to feminize the men so there wouldn't be more mass people, you know, with this, because then it would be an uprising. So as they shift over to the women and all of this, they also kept them distracted. That's why I say I never hold, you know, the women per se. You know, they right that, you know, they were treated wrong and, you know, these type of things. So I could see how they joined up in that system. You understand? I could see it. Right? But little did they know that they were going to be indoctrinated as well. I told you, you see the slave collars, right? So you knew that, you know, on the slave collars, you see the Masonic symbol and all of that. So you knew that Freemasonry had a part in it. So when you look at the Eastern Stars and you see their initiation and indoctrination into this, you'll see the same thing. So they all under this system that dictates even them. They are looking at it in the moment. The great speeches of which is real about being tread wrong. Not nobody can deny that reality. I got a sister who was raped as a child by a man. So then for me to say that the cruelty of men ain't there, right? But I also had a mother who tried to kill me, cracked skulls, broken bones, the whole 9 yards before 5 years old. So I can also say the wickedness of women as well. You understand what I'm saying? So anybody who's caught up in that cycle is going to be able to be manipulated. You know? So I'm just saying to the women of, that system, if it's your time, then it's time for you to raise the youth to uprise. Like if you had to do those things in order for you to cleanse, a certain people, then you got to take it all away. Or we just going back and forth playing their game. Because you never hear me, promote this separation. Because I know that that's their game. Intimidation. Talking you in circles, running you all around, doing all type of stuff that keep you distracted. You see? You see Putin? He knows how, well, put it like this. Through Putin's actions in America deciding to call them on it, it allows you to see America as well. That's how I always look at it. Like I always know America got down like this as well, but you wait for the villain to play victim, and you expose him too. Like, wait a minute, man, you can't look at me to be your friend and you doing this to us, you know. So let's go over to my next story here, right? We're going to fight, right? This is the transgender, you know, fight. Oh, wait a minute. Did I do that out of order? I guess I did it out of order. All right. Did I have it up on my what's the name? There's something else coming up next. But let's go here. All right. Mm. We're going to fight. Trans people express outrage over anti LBGTQ measures in Texas, Florida. It's too many fucking letters, man. I gotta make that shit say something, man. I shouldn't have to be spelling out. That's like what do you call them? The like the Jews and shit. You know what I mean? Just whole bunch of letters and shit. You just gotta make a name for it, man. Just make a name, man. That's all I'm asking. So I won't have to seem like I'm anti. I don't want to seem anti. Because I get frustrated with having to say all of them goddamn letters that sound like each one of those could be a name. L, G, B. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, make that shit one fucking word, man. You know what I mean? Florida litigation that would restrict discussion of gender identity and sexual orientation in schools reminds 21-year-old Sage Dolan San De Niro of a transgender bathroom policy that caused her misery when she was transitioning as a teen. All right. Let me just see what they vowing to keep fighting. Okay, I don't want to no personal thing. I don't really when I have to go through that with reading one person's, thing. I'm trying to get to the law, right? When litigation like this makes its way to our schools, we are allowing the next generation to be taught to harm, silence, and erase queer youth. No, you are not. Unless I'm just strictly misunderstanding what is being said, right? So let's go on because I'm under, from everything that I know about the Don't Say Gay bill. So I'm reacting to that. Maybe they're going to present something, different. Right? I don't see this. I'm scared for the state's queer youth, and I'm scared for my own family in Florida. Said Sandinino, said Sandinino, where we at? Who serves as the Monica Robert Fellow as the National Black Justice Coalition, which is dedicated to empowering black LBGT, Q community. I'm outraged and fearful. Like I said, you arguing for the black LBG. Once you put black in front of it, okay. But if you're coming in with the same talking points, you know what I mean? Like I can't agree with you. Now, as far as black LBG, the reason why it is, I can say that for me, in my growing up, it was the fact that like everything else in the black community, once a group of people, they don't respect the boundaries. They feel like I'm tough, I can do whatever I want. So then they'll go above and beyond and then put people and things in danger. So like I said, a friend of mine who told me, he was basically taken advantage of as a youth. You know what I mean? Me, I always been alert. You know what I mean? So I'm like I said, I guess due to the fact that, you know, um, facing death at a very young age made me just like, I'm not afraid of you can't threaten me and put those like swords over my head. Like you can't threaten me. Like, oh, you better not tell her nothing, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, my experience with that community has always been a guard, like you on guard. You know what I mean? You know that predators and like you listen to Mike Tyson, you listen to his response and telling you about that community as we growing up in an urban environment where everybody gangster and this, that, and the third, and they want to violate you and right. So my experience in the gay community, with the gay community, not in it, right, but with the gay community has always been guarded. And because of that, it's hard for me to look at that community and like what do you say, like um excuse it, because you hear the jokes, like, even in the white community you hear the jokes about the uncle and or like, you understand what I'm saying? So for me, you know um hearing them say stuff like turning a person out, so you knew that there was a system. You know what I mean? Like, so I just knew, stay away from that community, right? And so I'm speaking for all of the people who, my sisters, my homeboy, shit, people that I just met. I mean, these are people that, I've known in a more, personal light, intimate light. You know what I mean? So, I speak them, but I know so many other people from both, like I said, from the female aspects, of foul dudes, you know what I mean, to the predators. Foul dudes again. You know what I mean? Like, to me, they both the same. And so where that environment is. It's a sexual culture, right? So we have, at the end of the day, that all comes down to sex, right? So that culture, right? Just like you have a music culture, that's their culture. And inside of that, deviancy and all of that, you have to be diligent because that's their religion. That's their religion. Because their religion is to go against all of these other things that said they were wrong. So they could go into the church and violate it and then recruit more people who want to still be a part of the church now. So then they make a whole new system. But they again attack the church. So you build more of this infrastructure. As they grow, it's, well, God ain't real. As they young, it's, well, if God was real. And then you could come along and pull out these little scriptures and all of that and corrupt them because their minds are small, not grown yet. I told you I was 9 years old sitting on that bench. First thing I fucking learned how to do was listen. So you approach me in a certain way, you look at me in a certain way, I was going to come at it in a certain way. Look at the young lady from Basketball Wives, I think it is, where her son was, every time he got mad, he was making, like basically molesting other kids. And he's like 13. So I always knew you not putting me under no pressure. Now, I already faced death. I already faced death. So there was nothing that community would get a level of respect from me from. Like it would only go up to a certain level. I'm just being honest. Like I'll be tolerant of certain things, meaning that hey, if that's your lifestyle, that's your lifestyle. But I know that's a culture. I know that the Freemasonic symbol is a vagina, so it's a culture, a sex culture. If these are phallic and you know I'm sorry, like these symbols are sexual orientation symbols that are put there. And so he's who controls the imagery and how it's put out. That's who you got to be concerned with. That culture. I'm concerned about that culture. Not, you know, necessarily, the LBG community, but that culture. Because there's a culture of that. Like you got the hip hop culture, you got this culture. And because they know how deviant they are, they have to move in secret. Yeah. So when I speak and you might hear me like sounding like I'm giving pushback, it's because I'm not going to act like these things over here ain't real. I know too many people who suffered behind the hands of that. For me to go, I can make an excuse for it. And if I see that within, a group of people, I know because, like I said, I can flash back to the things that my friend was doing as a youth, right? That we would look at and say was strange. You know what I mean? Like, and so when, the conversation came up, late, way later in life, you know what I mean? Like, for me, it was like, oh, oh, right? Like me, like people who know me being distant and stuff like that. I explain why. Like, the hell that I went through with my mom's, I'm not willing to be in a situation where somebody think they're gonna handle me like that. You're not talking to me like that. You understand what I'm saying? My mindset is like, nah, you're not gonna handle me. You're not gonna disrespect me. You're not, and I'm not doing that to you. But in a world where either I'm gonna do it to you, or or we gonna, you know what I mean? Like it's like a bully, right? If a bully thinks that they can bully you, and if you like, say if they pushing you on your shoulder and you like, sure they gonna punch you or something, and you got to fight back. It's the same thing. If a person thinks that they could come and violate you, they gonna do whatever it takes to keep pushing that because they don't believe you that person that's quote unquote about that life. And so then when you show people that, then so I learned to stay on that. Like all day I'm on it, all day. You not approaching me like that. I'm ready to die all day. Not looking to die. You understand the two different things. Ready to, meaning that I'm gonna treat everybody as humble, polite, decent as I possibly can, while at the same time being as raw as I possibly can to let you know that your words, your manipulations, none of that shit is gonna work with me. That's how I give it up. You know what I mean? Like, we cool, but don't ever think that I'm dropping my guards. I'm not looking after the people around me. I'm not on point. Don't think that I'm not that. Like, that's why I learned to stay raw. Because like I said, I got sisters who suffered from that. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't play that game with nobody, man, woman, or child. Because I know all three of those levels, that predator could be there. You know what I mean? That system, because since it works so deviantly and it's passed down, yo, if somebody does, you know, um, go like this on the palm of your hand, and you know what I mean? Like, all of these things that are passed down. That's, you know, I'm just saying that because I remember that as a kid. You know what I mean? So, apartment. This is why I say the things that I say, and it's not for me to say that I'm against, you know, your preference, but I know, well, but I am if it involves the youth. It's like weed and alcohol and cigarettes. You do not promote those things on TV. Well, you probably do the alcohol, but you don't, like, I've never seen a brand of alcohol being like Hennessy being advertised on TV. That's why they use rap music and all of that. That's where they slide the advertisement in. Because it's not legal to advertise on, you know, alcohol on TV. Do you see cigarette ads on TV? No. But you will hear the reference of these things. Yeah, let me get a pack of. So it's learning how to get around and still get the point across. So it's that same tactic that I watch out for. So it's not against, um, you know, the National Black Justice Coalition, or um any of these other systems. I don't have a problem with, I guess, if that's how, for those who, you know, sexual preference is the opposite person, cool, right? But I feel that, it was imposed on people. I feel it was imposed. A lot of people were attacked by that system in the dark. You know what I mean? And now, it's this come out, this, but it was so much grooming done for that in the dark. And so now a new lie can be told. So I speak for the victims within that community, who even inside that community have been convinced of something else. It was natural. And I'm not saying that there's never no natural people, but with a lot of advertising and all of these things, you know, I'm just saying you gotta have a strong mind. A strong mind. Cause now it's through suggestion. It's just, oh no, you know what I mean? Because so many people. I have a niece, right? She got um she got 3 kids, right? But when she was in high school, like right before she graduated, she was hanging out. You know, she still got her gay friends, right? But because of that, she said, "Oh, I'm gay. I'm a lesbian." Right? Me, her mother, everybody. Like, shut up. You know what I mean? Because we seen you running around. You know, not like saying loose, but we know that you was into dudes. What the fuck are you talking about? So you on this wave, right? Like I said, this is at the end of her high school. Graduates, all of that. Have a daughter, then has more kids, all of this, that, and the third. Where's all of that I'm lesbian at? That's the point that I'm making. At a certain time in a person's life, even though that's kind of something that I don't see why a person, like, maybe because I'm not, from that era. You know what I mean? Like, certain things is supposed to been protected. And I don't say that to come after those who didn't, right? I'm just saying that that's something that it was a no go for me. For both ways. I ain't into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't into no dudes. I want no dudes into me. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about this conversation when we talk about don't say gay. I feel don't say gay should be a give and a take. Meaning, well, pause. Meaning that we understand. I hope we understand that that's a culture, right? That's a way of life that's been blowing and doing whatever it's doing, right? Like drill music or any new thing that's coming out. We're older. That's a new system, right? Now, in that, just like how you got pushed back to drill music because of the negative to it, the people in that community, that culture, has to be bold enough to say, yes, there are extreme negative impacts within this community. That's all that needs to be handled on both sides. One side has to be bold enough to say, while they want to be known, they got to be bold enough to say, but yes, there is an extreme toxic element within this community. They got to be bold enough while they quick to say everything else. Say that. If you can say that there's a toxic element within that community, then you can understand why there's such pushback. If you was a historian and you just watched this extreme shift, if you seen all of the predators, if you was grown enough to just say, yo, man, mad predators out there, man. Mad predators. And so I keep an eye out. Cause like I said, I got sisters, homies, all of that, man. And so for me, and it's not because of that, it's because of me being victimized in my way. I got a cracked skull, you know what I mean? Like I got a arm with a burn all the way up it. You know what I mean? And this is all before I was 5. Keep this in mind. So I fight for the people. There's never been a time that I'm not fighting for the people, even if the people might see me fighting them on certain things. I'm still fighting for the people. Never stop fighting for the people. So I gotta be honest because of all of the information, all of the traveling that I've done, all of the people that I've met. I've literally walked the pavement block for blocks and met people, sat on benches to benches, and I've known people. That's what I've done. The number one thing that I've done was speak and understand the people. So if you do not like that within I mean, not you as an individual, but you as a unit, if you know within you there's a toxic element that you might have even fell victim to, you would not have a problem. Right, let me clean this up before we just, go on. But you would not have a problem with anybody, basically calling out the negative within that community. You just wouldn't. If you could call out the negative within the church and the predators and all of this, and right, isn't that the same group? Because wouldn't those men have been gay if they're predatorizing on children? Not only are they pedophiles, but aren't they still gay? If they're taking advantage of choir boys and this type of thing, if this was the norm in a known conversation, that's all I'm saying. You can't point out the negative of all of these people while you can honestly say that it was that culture that was bringing it on. I said there's an oxymoron. A gay man takes advantage of a boy. He's gay. Are you overlooking that part of the conversation? A man predatizes a young girl or any female, right? Isn't he a sexual predator? And isn't he a pedophile? So to come up with symbols that represent this, you don't think that there's something wrong with that? I'm just saying, you don't want somebody to call this out, man. You got the wrong one. It wasn't a straight man who did that. Let's get that shit straight. Let's just get that straight. So it's not about a problem with that culture if that's what you into as an adult. Grooming somebody into that at a young age when they start thinking that they can explore, that's dangerous. That's planting something in them. So if they start at that age, what age does it keep going down? right? Because you said that, Freemasonry is only for 18, but then you also had, them other ones, them younger ones, right? Junior Masons and all of that, right? Eastern Stars, right? Rainbow, the young Rainbow, whatever, right? Y'all got all of that, right? So your system, let's talk about it. Don't act like this ain't real, man. Don't act like people ain't got a right to be fighting and for this situation. I'm sorry for all of the victims and all of those who have been manipulated. Not those, there's the victims, physically, and there's the mental manipulation for those to get groomed into a system. People who know psychology and these type of things, yeah, they pushing back. We all should know this. This is just common sense. I told you. I flash back to my friend as a child. Just like people could flash back and see me distant and all of those things, and I tell you, yeah, I was abused as a child. I damn near got killed. I got burns, can't talk to people because, you know, people, make jokes, and so, you learn to be alone. Just like this person, they, was abused in a different way, so their operations was odd. While me, I became, alpha on guard. There was things that I seen. At the time, we young, so it's just like, you know what I mean, thinking a motherfucker playing, still wondering why you playing, like that. You know what I mean? Type things. So, you know what I mean? It's just what I'm saying is I understand through observation. You can't expect, if you are not honest about your community, I can't listen to you. I'm sorry, I can't um even entertain having a true conversation with somebody who won't admit what that culture is about. We can't even have a conversation. All right. Oh, let's go into Dubai. All right. All right. So it says Dubai adopts crypto law as it looks to become a hub for Web 3.0. Now on my web page, on my Facebook page, I always tell people. Well, I've been not always, but I've been dropping little you know post about like Web 3.0. Like this is where you get into the crypto and all of that. So you want to be able to learn how to build these web pages and all of that. So Dubai is basically, trying to be the hub of this. But this is what I try to tell people in general. You know what I mean? Like, yes, this is what you wanna know. Yeah. Um Dubai wants to establish an independent authority that will regulate cryptocurrencies, right? The Dubai VARA will oversee crypto trading tokens, insurance, and more. Dubai is already favored destination for cryptocurrency and Web 3 companies in the region. All right. The Dubai, which is already a popular destination for the crypto and Web 3.0 community, may have done the industry a big favor. On March 9th, the city adopted its first law meant to regulate the operations of cryptocurrencies and digital assets like non fungible tokens, NFTs. The same was confirmed via a tweet from, Mohammed the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, whatever. Today, we approve the Vital Assets Law and establish the Dubai Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, a step that establishes the UAE's position in this sector. The authority will cooperate with all related entitles to ensure maximum transparency and security for investors, said in a tweet. What are Dubai's plans? Under the new law, the UAE wants to establish a Dubai Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, VARA, which would be taken with regulating these assets, right? Is also supposed to be an independent authority under the Dubai World Trade Center Authority, which will oversee regulations, governance, and licensing of cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and other virtual assets. Now, while you are establishing yourself, on the other hand, it sounds like the hand. You know what I mean? Like, the hand. So it's like, I tell people, this is why I tell people, learn about Web 3. How to build web pages. And like people always say, well, what is the direction that black people should be going in? I say computers. I went computers in the 90s. My boy Steve, right? Crazy man. He had a Commodore 64. He was playing Conan and all of that, back when we was little. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was always on it. So I just, always at that time, had like a little eye in it, right? But then, you know, um, in the 90s, that's when, I started learning about computers. You know what I mean? So, and well, for me, that's when I put it like this. I'm not gonna say just computers. That's when I started investigating in digital, like anything that was in that digital realm. Meaning that it was, you know what I mean. That's where I started looking. So when I tell people about our community being fed, even to this day, the drug game. You know what I mean? Like, even to this day, we're being fed the drug game as if that's the solution. So they're deliberately, because I told you that imagery is the number one thing in controlling the people. You got stars, right? Named after them. You got your money, everything. Your days of the year, your week, everything. Your months, everything. They are implanted in it, right? So with that information, it's on you. You understand what I'm saying? To be able to know how to maneuver. And so they gave you, as a mass, this bull. Here go where everybody else. You see Ukraine, you see all of that that's going on. That's all digital. While dude just over here worrying about trying to be the 90s and selling crack. Like that's the solution. You know what I mean? Like reliving because they got you in the past with Egypt and all of that, and they put the past of the 90s as your big accomplishment of killing each other and selling drugs. While putting out shows showing you that that's how they controlled you and got you. And you'll watch the shows without being ready to be up in arms. But then they also told you, nah, I hate your pops and this, that, and the third. So let's keep all of the boundaries of you trapped in that cycle. The illest psychological warfare that I've ever seen, and I'm watching it right around me. And nobody else is seeing it. That's the frustrating part about it. You know, here it is. We're watching Dubai, right? Make moves. They went still, here we go to Arabs with the oil. Smart enough to reinvest and lock it down, built modern day cities and all of that, staying up with the times. And you got dudes over here trying to chase the fucking 90s and selling crack and Scarface and all type of stupid nonsense. And then talk about they woke. And your first memories is almost death. Shit, you can't say a time when you ever slept. You know what I mean? So I can't say I'm woke. I don't, I don't know when I ever had a chance to sleep. Shit, I don't know a time I ever had a chance to sleep for me to say I'm woke. Got a mama trying to murder you. Shit. How you gonna escape that one? How you going to escape that one? That's what makes you like one of the strongest motherfuckers on the planet. When you go through all of that and you still maintain. So stop looking for the past in that sense. Learn from it. Don't keep trying to live it. I wasn't even trying to be there, much less trying to see somebody constantly trying to live that stupid shit. Selling crack and all type of nigga been around here robbing people. What the fuck you? They got credit cards, man. Who the fuck you robbing out here? You out here shooting and killing people for pennies on a dollar. You know why? Because they taught you that. No, in none of them fucking movies and TV shows that you've ever watched, you can say they was teaching you that. Every last one of them. That's why we say turn off the radio, turn off the TV. Not because it ain't entertaining, but damn, your entertainment is stuck in the past, and your children and all of them will keep raised in the past. Because all they can do is say, okay, I can see myself there. They couldn't see themselves in the Cosbys. That's why in the 80s there was so much flack with Cosby. They couldn't see themselves, doctors, lawyers, and in the city. And I remember that. So we did not keep that push. That's what we didn't do. We didn't keep that. Oh, like my fault. I'm thinking you can hear me. Well, I know you can hear me, but like this. Um we didn't keep that push. You know? That's a fact. We did not keep that push. We did not say, okay, let's promote these things. Nah, we did. Yeah, let's watch Menace. Let's watch Juicing and all of that. Let's make all of the TV shows and movies about that. That's why I told you I didn't like Regina King at first. Every last fucking role was this chicken bird head. And so people who ever wonder why I'm like that is because those are the type of women I could see being my moms. And they always were. Oh, you can't see, giving my pops a hard time. You know what I mean? All of those things was what I saw. I'm sorry for going off. It's just that once I seen that don't say, I gotta, it's like it's something about it that makes me say, you gotta call it all out. You know what I mean? Like, don't act like, that system over there is so great. Because in order for that system to take the shift, I seen a lot of soldiers fall all around the board. And the takeover that they arguing so much that they want to be a part of. I seen the wickedness that had to been performed for it to be set up. I seen it. You know what I mean? On that project bench, I'm gonna make a. That's what I'm gonna make a song. That project bench and shit. Tell things I fucking saw. You know what I mean? Real talk. You know what I mean? Well, I seen it before the project bench. The project bench, um, made the chaos made sense because that's inside, but that person is going out to the world. These people are going out to the world. So for me, it was dealing with people was like, like a search for like, why would you do that? So I speak for the same community that takes me talking against them. Even though they think that, people like me are talking against them, nah. I'm talking against the system that sets you up, that you don't even know. That's what I'm fighting against. Not you. The system that sets you up and convinced you the old system set you up, which they probably did too. That's why you got to leave that whole system alone. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right, let's go over what's the next one we got here. Um, Justice. Justice Thomas slams cancel culture. So this is again. This is all the same. This is why I never, deviate. I'm always on it. All right, let's get into this. This is Clarence Thomas. You know, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas said He's concerned efforts to yeah, politicize the court or add additional justice may erode the institution's credibility. Speaking Friday in Utah in an effort hosted by former Republican U.S. Senator Orrin Hatch's foundation. All right. So take me away so you can see Mr. Thomas over here. All right. All right. So let me say it like this, right? When you understand, because like I said, this is Thomas. This is the judge, right? Well, the reason why I'm messing that up is because so many times Coon was referred or is referred to this man right here, right? But what he's saying is like what I always say about people going to Malcolm X in the movie. And, hey, such and such got beat up, man. What you gonna do? You Muslim, what you gonna do? Like that type of a thing. And I'm gonna show why, right? If you allow a system to be swayed strictly by opinion, even though the old system was swayed by opinion too. He knows that. He knows that. That the system that he's fighting for, right, was controlled by a racist system. You seen people go into courthouses, pulling dudes out, lynching them. We see that with cancel culture. Cancel culture is the new public square lynching. That's what cancel culture is. They handling the justice, everything. And so a lot of that you have to check in the same way. Right? So I'm keep reading here, but I just like, to put that out there. All right. Thomas, the most senior justice on the 9-member court, said he often worried about the long term repercussions of trends such as cancel culture and the lack of civil debate. It's always been a lack of civil debate. I'm always a person like who's loved to debate. you know and I'm viewed as, like I said, in the urban community, debating is not on the table. Debating means that they got a real feminine, like how I said, like my moms and stuff like that, like real, destructive feminine if you don't agree, a real destructive type of approach. So, because Freemasonry is controlled by that system. So, right now, you know, um, the chicanery, the bickering, and you know what I mean. You can debate. Okay, you can cavalierly talk about packing up, stacking the court. You can cavalierly talk about doing this at or doing that. At some point, right, the intentions is going to be compromised. And that's a fact. After a while, It's you don't control that. Look at hip hop. Hip hop came from the streets and this element. It was supposed to be a rebellion. It was not diamonds in that. Not for the individual, because this was a grand effort. Graffiti. You gonna hear us fuck up the whole train systems. They see us everywhere. You see how the train systems in New York had to develop to where you couldn't write on it. It wasn't that the graffiti element was erased, they erased it. So now when you see the graffiti and it's just something that's mentioned, it's not understood to be embraced by the youth. They not going out there performing it, putting it up on the walls and just letting it be known. They not doing that. So the graffiti element removed. They not out there being political. Don't push me. Close to. They not doing that. It's my diamonds, my jewels. Oh, I shoot you, nigga, shoot, shoot, bang, 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 bang. None of that is against the system. So when he's saying can be compromised, yes. The same way that you thinking that you bucking the system, it's compromised already. Look how they hide behind the black plight. It's compromised. It's not even standing on its own merit. It's not attaching itself to the Chinese plight, the Irish plight, right? Didn't these people go through sufferings as well? It's attaching itself to something. So then that means that there's two things you need to be watching out for. If they're going after that and they're going after this, they're making it a joint effort. That's why you're supposed to be like, nah, stand on your own merits. Don't use me in your fight. Not that I got a problem with you, but that ain't my fight. My fight is for the people as a whole. Then my fight is, like we saying, having these type of debates and cracking jokes and being non-emotional to where everything is your word. I'll come over there and I'll clap. Yo, listen, man, stop. Stop. I'm not gonna let you do me no harm. If like, okay, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I'm good. So on that, it's why would a person, you know, want to open up to a system where everything is going? It's you don't even see who's controlling it. Who controls cancel culture? Social media. Social media is controlled. How do you know? Shit. You can right now go and say negative stuff about Ukraine and Russia, because they opened up and lifted the veil on that. So if you foolishly going into the cancel culture thinking that that's somebody control, no, it's digital. So and then you got algorithms, right? So cancel culture is an algorithm that somebody can let loose of certain things and close others. That's just it. That's the shit right there. I'll be a fool to fall for cancel culture because it's who's controlling it. Show me the cancel culture, and then we can move forward. But if cancel culture is moving in silence but attacking people in public, that's a scary culture. You're attacking people in private, right? While you're in private, but you're attacking them in public. They're publicly, everything. I want to know the people that's attacking them. That's why I put my shit on the table. So that way, if anybody come to me and say anything, I'll be like, yo, listen, man. Shit. You know what I mean? Because everything would be, no, not everything, Um, you know, like I said, outside of me just having to own up to being ignorant, you know what I mean? There are times, ignorance is a part of every man, woman, child. So there are parts I could be like, nah, I'm just ignorant. Got to own that. Then I can ask for understanding or whatever. But, you know what I mean? But cancel culture, right? He told an audience of about 500 people of upscale hotel in an upscale hotel in Salt Lake City. By doing this, you continue to chip away at the respect of the institution that the next generation is going to need if you're going to have a civil society. He's telling you the tactics that's being used psychologically to attack the people. That's why I told you I wasn't listening to the Tupac and Biggie because I seen the results. Understanding psychology. My ex girl who got her doctorate is in psychology. Understood psychology before knowing her. That's what I'm saying. I understand psychology. That's why breaking down the whole movement in the Freemasonic movement because it's psychology. These are like psychology majors who's using those tactics on you. They just rest is just some other stuff he just talking. But just understand this is not a game, right? This is not. Let me see if we got one more. We could get one more in, right? Oh, it's just about some electronic road sign, gave a slur. Let's go over here. It's we've all seen the electronic road signs on the highway every day. You know what? I don't even want to do this stupid shit. Just some asshole hacked the goddamn road sign. You know what I mean? And thought it was funny. So now, he's under investigation. That's it. Nothing major, nothing great. There's some stupidity. So I just hope y'all, you had a good one. I had a good one. Just wanted to come by, shoot the breeze with the people about the madness. About the madness. Always, I try to intertwine me, especially if I get personal because I don't want, people to feel like I'm attacking them. So in order for them to feel like I'm not attacking them, here, let me put my life on the table, right? So that way, if you can find something in there that you want to attack, cool, go attack it. It's on the table for you. Go attack it. So that way, if you feel that that's what's gonna even it out, cool. I'm with it. So put it all on the table, but I'm still gonna stand by what I said. So my life is on the table, right? Because I don't want you to think I'm attacking your life. I'm just laying it out, putting it out there for you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not about you. Probably about what you probably went through, and I'm trying to fight for that as well. For you. For whatever injustice it was. So it's not if necessarily if I was wrong in that same way. I was wrong, period. And so I'm universally fighting for all who was wrong, not those who was abused by women or those who were abused by men or those who were sexually abused or those who were physically abused or emotionally abused or you understand. You know when you've been through, so it's like saying you know you've been poor when you know you ain't never trying to go back there. You know you've been wrong when you ain't trying to see wrong happen to nobody. And you know even in yourself you try to limit your wrongs because of that knowledge. Not saying that you can't be on trial. That's why mine is on trial for you as well. So that way we can all be fair. Peace. Juice wanna.